Good morning. Today I have a calm morning because I have an appointment that I'm going to, and today is the day where I study. And I think you can see the reflexes behind me. I think they're great. I hung up one of these crystals, two of the crystals actually, in the window 2 years back in the old apartment, and I just took them to the new apartment and they light up my morning. It's great. I'm eating breakfast, but I wanted to show you the remnants of the wedding this weekend. I haven't had the heart to actually scrub them off because these are my nibblings, my brother's children, and they were temporary tattoos at the wedding and I loved them. I just snagged them up immediately as I saw them. Didn't give anyone else a chance to look at them. I mean, there were several, but I decided that as an aunt I am entitled to these temporary tattoos. So breakfast, headed off to the appointment. Don't know if I will have the time to pick up my yarn before then, because as per usual I've left things to the last second. And then I have a board meeting on the other side of town this evening, so it wouldn't make sense for me to come back, pick up the parcel and then go back again. That would be a good 3.5 hours on the subway today, and I can't really justify that, I think. Fresh raspberries are so much better than the frozen ones. These are frozen ones. They are good. I like raspberries, but fresh ones are just superior in every way. So yeah, I'll take my knitting to the appointment and I'll keeping on. I made some progress yesterday. This is now how far I've come on the cascade tank top. This is from the bottom of the v-neck. So I am making progress. It's just incredibly slow and quite boring. Okay, so I actually came back home. The whole thing about not wanting to spend so much time on the subway was a good thought, but then we had an all-employee meeting today and I had to watch a recorded lecture for my training that I'm doing, which was just 3 hours of knitting time today. So I didn't bring another ball of yarn because I was like, this yarn takes forever to knit up. I will just be dragging around another ball unnecessarily. Of course, I'm not going to knit the remainder of that yarn. And this is how much yarn I actually have left today. So I made the executive decision to come home because I have, as I said, a board meeting all across town this evening, and that is going to be 2.5 hours of sitting and talking, and while I do that my hands can knit. So I came home, I finished my articles and the lecture, so I actually have some spare time today because I had 8 hours to do 5 hours work. So I am happy with that. So I have a reason to get my yarn jail out. And by yarn jail, which is a very difficult thing to say as a Swede because we tend to just, the j sounds, we just translate into y. So my brain wants to say yarn yale. But this is where I put all of the yarn that I bought in Norway this summer, because I didn't want it to be cross-contaminated with anything if there happened to be anything yucky going on, and I wanted to keep everything in one spot for the move. So I only pulled out 2 balls of the yarn as I needed it, and now I have a very squished third ball of the tynn line, which is 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 14% linen. Produced in Norway by Sandnes Garn. Avoid wash bag and fabric softener. Wash the garment separately. Why do I need to avoid a wash bag? I do not understand the logic, because I would think that this yarn wants to avoid snagging, which would be helpful, where a wash bag would be helpful. Also, my partner and I were looking at some patterns yesterday for a sweater for him, and because we bought yarn for that purpose in Norway, and we got 3 delicious colours of the alpaca wool, which is 60% alpaca and 40% wool. And the contrast between the colours is quite low for these two. So the brown is going to be the main colour. That is where the idea was born, because in the Sandnes Garn factory outlet, they have a back room of their outlet, second sorting, things that they want to sell. And this yarn they had in that part of the store, the brown one, and my partner picked it up and I was like, this is so soft, I really, really like this. And we looked at some fabric, some yarn combinations, some colour combinations. My partner really suits a purple, so this aubergine colour I think will look great as one of the contrast colours. And then this it's not even off-white, it's a light beige, will also look great. We were thinking about a stark white, but that would not suit my partner's colouring. We were in agreement on that. So this is the colour combination, and we were looking at patterns yesterday and we had a bit of a difficult time remembering how the colours looked together and how much we would want the yarn to be prevalent in the pattern. So I think I'm going to leave these 3 out for us to look at together whenever we have time for that. And we do have some interesting contenders for the sweater, but nothing that has been decided just yet. Okay, so I think we bought like 14 of the brown and 3 or 2 each of the contrast colours. And now looking at the patterns that are, is this a terrible auditory experience for you with the crinkling? Sorry about that. I've been thinking about making knitting ASMR, but I find ASMR a bit strange. Like the whole watching an ASMR video, I find a bit strange, but soap cutting, oh my god, that tickled my brain. That is amazing. And also the repetitive sounds of knitting and the repetitive visual stimuli I find soothing. So in one way, I am a complete hypocrite for saying that I feel a bit strange or I feel a bit undecided about ASMR. because I do consume ASMR in my daily life. I just don't watch it anymore. I did used to watch soap cutting videos on TikTok, but I deleted TikTok like 4 years ago because it was not good for my noggin. This to be looked at, this to be knitted with, and my friends, new yarn. I was targeted by Edna with 2 D's with yarn in collaboration between Järbo and Astrid Lindgren, the Swedish children's book author, who is our greatest treasure. Ooh, yes. This is yummy. Okay, one disappointment. The pictures were not true to life. This is Elon Wikland, I think, is the illustrator for Astrid Lindgren's books, and this is sorry, my brain is working quicker than my mouth. This collaboration is between what I think is the illustrator behind Astrid Lindgren's books and Järbo. So they took pictures from the most loved stories and pictures in the books and translated it to sock yarn. So this is 75% wool, a superwash, and 25% polyamide. And they ask for a 4mm needle, which I'm not going to listen to. It's called Traditional Nordic Sock Yarn. Very nice. But what I found very funny now is reading the titles of the stories, because I know Barna i Bullerbyn, which is apparently the children of Noisy Village. What? And Karlsson på taket is Karlsson on the roof, which of course it is, but Lotta on Troublemaker Street, Lotta på Bråkmakargatan. Madicken is the same. Sea Crow Island, is that salt? Of course, it's Saltkråkan. And Ronja, the robber's daughter. This is funny. I think this is funny. Anyway, this I was worried this might be a true red, but it's actually quite a neon orange, which is exactly what I was looking for, because they also have a very green yarn. Do they have names? Yeah, so this is Bullerby Grön, and this is Lotta Röd. So children of a noisy street or noisy village. Sorry, I can't get over that direct translation. Green, and Lotta Red. I wonder why this is Lotta Red, because she has a pig. She has a pet. She has a stuffed animal pig, and I don't know what with her is this red. Maybe her dress. I don't know. And then black, which is Pappas paraply. I would have liked this to be Tengil, the bad guy in the Brothers Lionheart. Bröderna Lejonhjärta. But I wanted to knit alien socks. with these. And also now looking at them, I think these would make a great pair of watermelon socks, because I saw a really cute pattern in the Joyful Colourwork socks book with a watermelon pattern. So I think I might do that, because this colour story, it is beautiful, it's striking, and it's also a low-key way of wearing a symbol for support of the Palestinian struggle, which I want to do. Because art is political, knitting is art, everything is connected. Isn't that what Dirk Gently from Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency says? Everything is connected. Everything is connected. Okay, so this is one sock quality that I was curious about. I mean, I was curious about the colours, and I thought that this was a cute thing. It's very soft. I'm surprised that it's the same sock quality or the same composition that I'm used to, but very happy with that. This next thing is something I bought because I wanted to try the quality of it. I want to see how it knits up, how it feels, how it wears, how it washes. This is Merino Raggi, also from Järbo. So 75% superwash merino wool and 25% polyamide. And this colour is more aggressive than it was in the pictures. I thought this was going to be more muted. They are still going to be great socks, I'm convinced of that, but it's not the sock colour that I thought, it's not the yarn colour that I thought I was ordering. Also, I'm not used to getting a full skein like this, like a hank, so I will have to wind this myself at some point. But I have a pattern in mind for this from the 52 Weeks of Socks book, because these I want to make colourwork socks with. This I want to work a different texture with, because a variegated yarn or a colour shifting yarn will not be ideal for a texture, because that will hide the texture in the colour changes. So this is going to be good. And now to the disappointing part, because I looked at this on the website, umming and ahhing about the colour selection, and the brown, perfectly happy with this. This is Tencel Raggi, so this is 75% wool and 15% tencel, which is a plant fibre, I think from wooden cellulose or wooden fibres. I think Tencel is not the name brand, but it's the fibre name or the technique name, because I think lyocell is the protected, trademarked name of the process and the end product of the fibre that you get out of wood, or the cellulose from wood. The brown is what I was looking for, but this mustard colour is not at all what I wanted. I wanted something with a high contrast, so I made the website black and white to see which colours would have high enough contrast, because I wanted to knit the Walk in the Park socks by Cool Stitches, which is a gingham pattern sock. And I don't think that this is what I was looking for. I wanted a brighter yellow. I mean, this is an okay colour combination. I think it will look good. I think it's going to look very 70s. So I might just lean into that, but this is not what I thought I was getting. But I have 3 different yarn qualities. One standard, which feels more soft than I would expect, a standard sock yarn to feel, one merino and one tencel blend. All of them are superwash, right? No, this doesn't say that it's superwash. No fabric softener. Don't use that anyway. So yeah, new yarn, new plans, and old yarn and budding plans. I did read in the Joyful Colour Work sock book about the second sock syndrome and how Charlotte Stone deals with that. And I think I need to use some of that mentality for myself at the moment, because I have fun yarn that I wanted to work with and fun ideas that I wanted to work them with, but I need to find a balance between the fun projects that I want to cast on to give me that quick dopamine and also to actually finish what I started. Because now, just looking at where I am sat now, just next to you actually, is my rainbow baby blanket that I haven't finished. This is how far I've come. I think I should knit at least the blue as well, dark blue and light blue, and then I could end with the white border and white stripes. The reason why I haven't finished this yet, I was doing very well and doing great progress, is because I had some not sad, definitely not sad, but difficult to digest news about a friend and family baby planning. So I've been a bit put off the whole baby craze feeling, because this is for friends who are starting IVF, and I want this to be full of the happiness and the anticipation and the joy that I feel for them, and not the feelings of uncertainty or the difficult feelings that I have at the moment when it comes to babies. So I will get around to this. So I know that I have time to get this done for their baby in time before that baby comes. But I won't have it finished before they become pregnant. So this is a project that I'm currently hibernating, I suppose. And then I have fun plans. And the cascade tank top is just not fun at the moment. It's just so incredibly boring. It's very, very repetitive. And it's going to be fine. I did get a bit of a boost now finishing another skein or another ball today. That was good, because then I feel like I've actually made measurable progress. So it's currently 4 o'clock. I have some things to do at the apartment, and then I will take some of my leftover banana bread and my knitting, and I will head all across town for the board meeting. And then this evening is basically going to be spent on the subway and in the board meeting. I think I will do some work on my Royal Winters sock with the Aweta yarn, because I want to try different yarn qualities for socks, and those are also merino, wool and nylon, and I want to see how they work up. So I can't just jump onto a new colourwork project because I have new yarn. I have to pace myself. And I'm going to watch 2 of Jenna Phipps's videos because I followed the house renovation or house building series. I've followed it since the first week. I was a viewer of hers way before, and I've missed it twice now, two rows in a week. I haven't had time to watch it because incidentally, my knitting Vlogtober series gives me time to knit because I knit on camera sometimes, and it gives me time to talk about knitting, but they take a lot of time editing, and that takes away from some of the downtime that I would have on the train going to and from work, for example. I edit instead of watching YouTube videos during that time, so I haven't watched her 2 most recent videos. So that's what I'm going to do, and then to the board meeting. So again, filming things a bit out of order because when I get back home this evening, I won't have good lighting. I will probably just be ready to go to bed. It's going to be a long evening. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to click a button, the like button or the subscribe button, to give me a dopamine hit when I get a comment. I got one just the other day about someone who said that they were so curious to see what sock pattern I chose from the Colourwork Socks book, and that they enjoyed the video, and that gave me such a boost as a itty bitty tiny micro content creator. Seeing and hearing from people who watch and who want to engage with my content is just the best feeling ever when I open the YouTube app and I see that little notification. So like the video, subscribe, leave me a comment, that would make my day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.